Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dana Martin. To my whatever side this is Cameron. Down below, we have Zane, and over here we have Debbie. Wow, this is what happens when we change up how all this looks. How is everyone tonight?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. You guys can see the TikTok people right there. Look at that. TikTok.
Hello, TikTok.
YouTube, meet TikTok. This is cool. Welcome back. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Oh, Josiah's up. I don't know about that.
Do it.
This shirt. Yeah, that was funny. We're not going to revisit that. Why did I even say that? Yeah, so here we are. I guess it's working. There's people. There's a one viewer. So rock and roll. I am real excited. This is a huge undertaking and has been at least in the last 24 hours, because I'm a procrastinator. And yeah, in the end of the day, I think right now we have our very first episode, which was just Zane and I, on Spotify and iHeartRadio. And if you're in podcast world, I'm still working with iTunes. Sorry, Cam. I know you're like drunk with power Apple guy, but they're terrible.
I love Apple.
I'm sorry. So here we are all by ourselves for the very first time. And this is kind of lonely. It hasn't been, I thought it would be like easy, right? But no, I'm just kidding. I knew it'd be hard. And we have some great folks in that we're still partnering with. Like Kat, who will be on the show again, I'm sure. And Debbie helping with getting our content moved over. Just for a couple of updates here. And you got to go to Facebook, and you don't have to, you can just mute us, but follow us. You could like us. That's great. We want the likes, but if you follow us, we get to 100, we can simulcast there as well. I know some folks don't want to pull up YouTube. That's fine. Some folks like Cameron have some sort of propensity for hatred for Facebook. So,
amen. That and TikTok. No offense.
Yeah, and here we are. Hi, TikTok. Shh, it's okay. He didn't mean it.
He can't hurt you.
He can't hurt you.
I can.
You're not a moderator on there.
Do it for the live. Are you talking about the shirt again?
Yes, sir.
Take it off. Take
it off.
You can just silence me with a chat bubble. Covers up half my face.
Did I really?
Yeah, put it up again.
Heck yeah.
Do it for the live, Dana.
So let's go through a couple of changes, some things that will be a little different. First of all, not the layout. I don't think I like this, and we'll probably switch back because I don't want. I mean, look, I didn't clean my office. Look at this; it's a mess. I mean, yeah. So that's one thing. Two, our Discord. We want fan engagement. We want people who want to be involved with the show to jump on to the Discord. We already have some folks, Josiah, Andrew, friends of the show. Debbie finally joined. I mean, she's part of the show. She finally did. And, there was plenty of Cam, hey, Debbie, wow, just real excited. We've got that Discord, and we've got all kinds of cool stuff that we're already messing around with in there. So come join us on Discord. To get that Discord link, though, it is by invite only. So let us know in a DM. And again, you got to follow the Sith Dominion on Facebook. I got to say that one more time. Beat that dead horse, so that we can actually broadcast there. But we're still on YouTube, and this is going to be our home, and I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to some changes in what we're doing. We're going to have each person. Whether she wants to or not, Debbie will have a segment at some point. Each person will have their own segment too. So if something's really peeving Cam, then Curmudgeon Cam will step up to the plate and talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Wow, which I know he already has something on the docket for this evening. Zane, as lore master, is probably going to kind of focus on the things that are lore-ish within the Sith world. I know tonight we're going to be talking about the real acolyte. And if you saw the thumbnail on the announcement, whatever the show, that thumbnail credited to ChatGPT, image creator, fed it some info, and it created its version of Darth Zanna. And our title for our show tonight, A New Hope. And what does that mean? Well, a new hope for the Sith. I don't believe the acolyte did the Sith well. Our show, while we go back and forth on a lot of things, there are some things that are certain, and that is that the Sith are not crazy idiots. They know what they're doing, and we like to talk about that fun stuff of the Sith and the dark side. So, that being said, we also are going to, after this show, of course, if you're in the Discord, we'll start working polls. We'll try to get you guys on as fans to come into the show. Oh, wait, what? Yeah. So, especially when we start the After Dark pieces. So, what we'll do, not this week, but moving forward, we will have within Discord an After Dark chill out, hang out session. And if we have a guest that's outside of us, we will bring them onto the Discord and you can chat with that guest. So, for instance, DJ Elliott, who was on and even stayed after the show, after it ended, for like 30, 45 minutes.
That was crazy.
It was super fun. And we got some tea. So, love you, Elliott. Yeah, we would do that on Discord where fans have an opportunity to be involved and speak with those folks too. So just several different things we're going to try. Some of it'll work, some of it won't, but we're looking forward to all of this and all of y'all's support. Up to 3 people viewing on the very first show. Thank you so much on our new channel. Like and subscribe and hit that bell. Now,
oh my God, he's already got it down.
Whew,
Should be somewhere down there.
So here we are. I did want to reference the shirt thing, Andrew, if you're still watching. So
take it off.
Over the weekend, spent the weekend in Dallas or Fort Worth. We had a death in the family a few weeks ago, and we were working on the property and things of this nature. And I was already like by 11, just dying. And I sent a picture to the guys, just like, I'm exhausted already. To which their response was, take it off, take off the shirt. # take off the shirt. So I did not take off the shirt. But thank you. This has its own life now with Take Off the Shirt.
Let's go. Take it off.
Take it off.
Nope. So a couple of things on the news front. Lando canceled. Did I hear that right? Did y'all hear about that? Didn't they already have it close to post-production, or was it already in post-production? I thought they had been working on it for a while.
Where'd you guys get what was the source for that? Because I'd never seen it anywhere.
Source schmorse.
I just heard they were talking about doing it. I didn't know how far it was or where it was along. Wasn't Donald Glover, wasn't it supposed to be young Lando? Donald Glover, wasn't it supposed to be him?
I mean, here we go. We're sharing, y'all.
Oh. Are we?
Sharing screen, y'all. Here we go. I understand. Let's proceed. Don't you? This must be the first time I've ever shared on this. Yes, here we go. It's on IMDb.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at that.
There you go.
I've never seen this before. That's so cool.
So there it is. 6/5/2024. I thought it was something recent, but
man, they actually canceled sort of interesting shows and then give us what they give us. That's unfortunate.
Such a great casting.
I know.
What's the deal with I don't know if you guys know, what's the scoop over at Skeleton Crew? I saw something about that today. But
I heard it is testing horribly.
No.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of sad because I like Jude Law, but I've heard it's testing very terribly.
Which is
Is
interesting.
that because it's kid oriented?
I don't know, just the concept, and I mean I think the kids have a part to do, and I think it's almost too Goonies. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars thing, you know.
Well, neither did Lego Star Wars, and that was a hit with
And Lego Star Wars is sick.
I cannot believe you got those already. I'm jealous.
Dude,
the Dark Side Millennium Falcon. Ugh.
Yes, and before anybody hates on me, I will be building the Dark Side Ray fig. Don't question it. I'll even build it on stream.
I want Dark Side Ray, dude. I don't care what anybody says. I love Ray. I think that they effed up Ray. Ray had a lot of potential. Ray, and specifically Daisy Ridley, did with what she was given, amazing. And I hate
the dark side Ray with the teeth, though. That's just too much for me. That was so cringe.
Man,
It's kind of made me pop out of my seat, like you know.
Also, so I don't get GNN in trouble. This 19 Crimes.
Yeah.
Don't get who in trouble?
This one is Red Blend, 19 Crimes. I don't know. It's very tasty. Have you guys ever had 19 Crimes? So you take your camera and you upload, or you get the app and you scan it, and that little guy comes to life in alternate reality and tells you his story and why he's a criminal, like what he was busted for. It's pretty sick. If you've never done these, go get them.
Snoop Dogg was on it.
Does, huh?
So I know Snoop Dogg was on one of them.
And his partner in crime,
Martha Stewart.
Yep, yeah. She has her own butter hard shard or something, buttery shard. It's terrible. And the red blend that Snoop has is really good. The Cali Gold Snoop has is okay. We're not turning this into a wine show, but
not yet.
Not yet. I love me some
That's
wine.
after dark.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's some of the news. We had, Lando canceled. We've got whatever it was we just talked about. What was that?
Skeleton Crew. The ship Lego looks kind of sick. I'm excited for that. I'd like to see a cool ship.
When does this take place? I got a funny feeling about this.
This is it's set in the same Mando. It's set in the Mando, same time as Mando and all that. It's supposed to tie in all that.
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So not. I thought they might be taking a page out of Outbound Flight, that novel.
Oh, that was a good novel.
That was a good novel, and it was about a mission, and it went bad, and they were marooned, with their ships, and I thought that might be Skeleton.
Timothy Zahn.
Great guy. Great guy.
Have you met him?
I wish.
I wish, man.
Timothy Zahn, if you're listening, if you're one of these,
he doesn't come down to Texas.
No,
I think he has once, and it's in Dallas.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm just happy I got an email from Aaron Alston before he died. I sent him an email telling him how wonderful his pieces of the Rogue Squadron books were. Him and Michael Stackpole. Jeez, that if you haven't read the Rogue Squadron series, you're missing out on some of the best. It's written so well that you imagine the space battles. You imagine what they're going through and they're thinking while they're being tracked, or they're tracking and they're barrel rolling this and snap left. It's just insane the amount of detail these guys give. Michael Stackpole, Aaron Alston, God rest his soul. Great writers. And I would highly recommend the Rogue Squadron series, because not only is it Wedge centric, there's all kinds of other dudes that you learn about that are in Return of the Jedi or in these other movies that you didn't even know existed. And then you go back and watch, and you're like, oh my God, that's Karan Horn. Or, oh my God, that's who, whatever. So Karan Horn, Jedi also, by the way, but was also Gold 2 or whatever in Return of the Jedi, and was in the Death Star on that run, that right next to Lando. When they peeled off, he was one of the ones that went right when Wedge and him went for the power regulator and whatnot. That was way too much detail, but isn't this a Star Wars show?
Amen.
It is.
Oh my God, Dana! Everyone's like, okay.
Dana's out here dropping lore, man.
Man, I know. I'm not the lore master though.
Bro's over here dropping lore.
Enjoying this.
Here we go. segment tonight, our first segment out of the box after our news, is not going into deep dive. We're going into Cameron's thoughts on a few things. So, but while we're still fleshing things out, we'll get a title for the segment so that it's kind of a thing for Cameron and for Zane and for Debbie. And but for tonight, it looks like something. Don't pre-order video games anymore is the title of this segment, and I can't wait to have this discussion. So, Cameron, take it away. What are we talking about?
I've got a bone to pick with Ubisoft and most AAA game studios. I don't know if people watched the recent IGN definitely paid for advertisement 10-minute clip for Star Wars Outlaws because it was absolutely horrendous. It really just puts into perspective the modern day state of gaming, how I'm not going to pull up the 10 minutes. I don't want to make people watch that. You can go watch it at your own discretion. But for me personally, it did not make me very excited for the game. I think the concept of the game, and that scoundrel underbelly of the galaxy, like doing missions and flying on a ship and having your companion. I think the concept itself is cool, but the gameplay looks not good. Like one of the takedowns that they show us is the main character just slapping a stormtrooper from behind with its helmet on, and that's one of the takedowns. And the stormtrooper just falls, and I'm just like first off, no, just straight up whop, like karate chopping him on the helmet, and then he just falls, and I'm like, I think that would arguably hurt you more than the stormtrooper. Stormtrooper would be like,
that's a lightsaber. Holy crap!
Armor, I believe. Plasteel armor.
You know, and it's just the footage wasn't great. It doesn't look it and I love the Lego games, but it looks like a Lego game with throw on bottom bottom tier barrel Assassin's Creed graphics, and that's what you get. Now I could be wrong. It could come out and maybe 6 months after it comes out, it might be great, like most games are. But it doesn't look fantastic. And on the fact that to get one of the exclusive Jabba the Hutt missions, you have to pay $130. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing?
Milking?
Well, and then you got to think Ubisoft's got the Assassin's Creed Shadows issue going on right now. Another great concept for a video game that they had, they're absolutely just squandering. Like, this should be post Jedi games. Like, it should be I would want to be excited for this. I'd love to play a massive open world RPG where I'm not a Jedi for once or a bounty hunter. You know what I mean? Also, shout out to Aspire, because apparently I hadn't played it yet, but the Bounty Hunter re-release that Aspire came out with, they actually released a playable game. Unlike the Battlefront Classic Collection, which they absolutely squandered, and they should be ashamed of themselves for.
That wasn't very great.
Bounty Hunter is apparently running pretty well. Shout out to them.
Have you guys played it?
I hadn't played it yet.
Can you get it on Steam?
A remaster? You should be able to.
You should.
Sorry, I'm not trying to derail you. Come back to you. I'll look it up.
But I don't know. I used, and this all started because, as we all know, RIP Game Informer. I used to love getting those magazines with my GameStop Pro back before GameStop became the evil empire. But where's the being able to pre-order games and going to the midnight release of the game and waiting in line with your fellow man, and you're all it's just a bunch of people there hype for this new game that's coming out. And we, back in the day, you get 1.5, 2 minute trailer, and now they release 10 minutes of footage, and I'm just like, this looks not good, and then I'm gonna pay $70 for a game, and it's not gonna be complete. It's going to be patch city hell for the first 6 days.
That was something that I wanted to ask you about. that I heard you say was maybe in 6 months it's a good game.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? I mean, we run into this problem, don't we, with games? They're being released shoddy, and then they fix it as they go.
I mean, it all really comes back to Fortnite, I believe. I mean, Fortnite at its core when it first released was a cool concept of a game, but it was definitely in beta stage, and it, gradually got better with patches. But now it's bled over into actual like single player, like, because I mean, once you really beat the campaign and you do all the side quests, like, I mean, there's realistically going to be what, 30-ish hours of full story time for completionists, 35 hours maybe. I mean, you have like the Elden Ring or Cyberpunk, but even Cyberpunk, like, I remember my roommate was at the time was so excited for that game, so excited, like it was going to revolutionize single player games, and it was going to bring people back because that was like the Warzone, like was full battle royale mode, right? But then Cyberpunk comes out and it's just unplayable, and he's got a rig that's more than capable of playing it, And all the people that bought it on the base PS4, you're just not very smart. I'm sorry, but like the gaming industry as a whole is like it's like we're causing the suffering for ourselves because we still keep buying it, right?
Yeah.
We still keep purchasing these games that aren't complete, even if we're not pre-ordering them, we're still purchasing them, right? And we're not making these developers pay for it. We should, and I'm guilty of it to a certain extent. It's just I just don't get it. And I want Star Wars Outlaws to be good. I probably, if it goes on sale, I might play it. But I'm not over here like waiting for it to come out like I have been, I don't know, Spider-Man 2 a few months ago, or, I can't even think of any recent games that have come out that I've significantly looked forward to. But
of the business now, I think, is your point, right? I mean, that nothing gets released wholly on a piece of media that you own, and it's complete, and you can play it not online. You can just go, but nothing anymore is mostly like that. I still have my WoW CDs. I still have my Star Wars Galaxy CDs, just to hold on to them, because I don't even have a CD drive in my goddamn last laptop that I had in 2018, whatever. I didn't even have a freaking disk drive. So, the days of, and I think that's a bigger conversation probably for a different type of show, but we're not owning our media anymore even.
And the icing on this cake is the developers don't want to hear any feedback. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Take content, whether it's good or bad, and just take it for what it is.
Would you say, and I don't know, Debbie, I know you aren't a huge gamer. You played some games, though, in the past.
Back in the day. Nintendo 64.
Yes, sir. An icon.
I was very much involved in the late 90s, early 2000s with online play. With COD, I was in the alpha for World at War. Like, that game's 20 years old now, or whatever, like 10, 15 years old. Like, I was in the alpha for that. Like, there was a really, and talking with those guys while you're playing with them, while we're figuring out bugs, like, that was fun. Like, there was this connection and community between developers and players. And I don't sense that. You're right. I don't sense that anymore, where it's this partnership of making this game better. And maybe it's because the shit that does come out, they haven't really listened or talked about things. They put out the game quickly because Ubisoft has shareholders that they got to make happy. And then we're going to go ahead and 70% this game, and then we'll charge them more to complete it later.
See,
go ahead.
But this is just like with the Acolyte conversation we had 2 weeks ago, when they're like, "Oh, they made the season expecting a season 2." Well, I got a great idea. What if you just made a great or good product? You made a good, complete product. Everything else will take care of itself.
It will.
Right? Don't just push something out to get it out, just to have content out, right? Why don't, I'd feel better as a consumer, like the Sonic film. I remember when the first Sonic trailer came out and he looked like a freaking just raccoon or something, and he just looks terrible. And the fans were like, no. And you know what happened? They went and changed it, and I've seen those movies probably 10 times. And a lot of people love those movies. And it's what happened. They listened, took back, and were like, yeah, that probably didn't look like Sonic the Hedgehog. And then now they're getting a third movie. And it's probably going to be. They got Jim Carrey to come back and do a sequel. That's how good those movies were.
Anymore.
Yeah. Like, just make good product. Make good product for your consumers, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, I think we're getting off even with consoles. You don't even really own the media because it's a 4 gig download when you get home with the disc, right? Nobody cares at home. I don't know, but to this point, I was having some PC issues. Overwatch, Destiny 2, Adobe Premiere Pro, and a couple of other Adobe suites for the show, all the things. And I've only got like 30 gigs left out of 500.
Gotta get you some more storage, brother.
And the 2 video games, Destiny. Holy jeez, Destiny.
Okay.
Huge.
It has a lot of content.
I heard myself echo. I said that so loud.
Hey, it's not as bad as COD though. You download COD. If that's the only game you're playing.
You're playing one game of COD, and that's the same size as Destiny.
That thing's like 300 gigs or something, brother. It's insane.
It's more than
I feel like I gotta crack open and upgrade my hard drive just to freaking install a new version of Word.
Charla, please get my man an M.2, please.
M.2.
M.2 SSD, 2 terabytes.
SSD.
He'll be all good.
I've got a 5 terabyte external, but it's external.
That thing will explode. You try to run Destiny on that.
But I've had to move all the stuff over there.
It's gonna evaporate into the multiverse.
So yeah, I appreciate that. I think we're all really worn out, tired of, exhausted of the way that we felt like we've been played over the last, and it all started with EA with microtransactions on Battlefront, the new one or whatever it was,
2
Battlefield, and it was like, are you kidding me? So in order for me to be good, it doesn't matter. You got to buy your gear. And then the move to cosmetics, that's cool. Doesn't impact me whether I want to buy it or not. It doesn't impact my play. Now, where I think it does is, Zane, you may have mentioned this. On Overwatch, we were talking about the new skins and that they actually do change the hitbox a bit, some of the skins. Or no?
It's what's referred to as kind of like a visual hitbox. Basically, if someone has a bigger hat, it's easier to aim for their head because they have something bigger to shoot at. Especially when bullets have a size. Mm-hmm. So you can shoot for the hat and the actual, whatever the projectile is, can clip into the character and it counts as a headshot.
I got you.
So it is all visual, but I mean, bright colors, bigger items on top of skins. It's all that visual hitbox.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when COD came out with their Groot skin or something for Modern Warfare, and it was like you couldn't see it, like blended in with certain maps and
awesome. That's
and
fantastic.
Yeah, so everybody bought the Groot skin because they were able to like win games, but then they ended up patching it.
Of course.
It's just
Yeah.
Activision's the worst, but Ubisoft is really, really playing hard to catch up for being the worst developer out there.
I think we need. Do any of you three have the Bounty Hunter game?
No, but I can get it.
Yeah, same.
I think we need a review of that next week. Someone want to take that? I can.
Let's go. You can.
Anyone else wants to take it?
Buzz, we got to buy a game.
All right, there we go. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Do I get to write this off?
I mean, if he pays
Unless
you,
you're an
to do it.
employee.
What? Put me on the payroll, brother. I mean,
What? After I get paid. Thanks, Cam. This was great. I think this is a kind of a good segue, a good understanding of what we might get from you in the future. Poor Debbie sitting there like, I don't even play this damn game. I don't even know what talking about. F y'all. No, we'll get to you because you're Cam, thanks though, because I know you're gonna have to bolt here in about 15 minutes.
I'll probably just go ahead and bolt. Feels like a good transition to dip out, but I'm gonna watch the show while I'm headed out there.
Don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you. Get that.
Don't be afraid.
Dude, no, this is great. Welcome to the Sith Dominion New Hope, because we are the new hope for Sith around the world that want to get together and be a community and freaking understand that this is the way.
This is the way.
It's only passion. Cameron, thank you, man. If you sign
Peace,
out,
everybody.
that's great. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week.
Bye.
Okay, now that he's gone. What's up, Debbie?
Howdy, Debbie. How's it going?
Hey. You know he's gonna pop it on while he's going out to the softball game. He's got a softball game. I don't know, maybe finals, championship. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, he's got
World Championships.
You can see the swirl in the background. Is that distracting for those of you watching? Let me know. No, is that distracting?
Not for me.
I think
No.
If it is, well.
When I say those watching, I mean the two viewing the show, not YouTube. I don't care if it's distracting for YouTube.
Actually, on YouTube, can you comment and say if it's distracting or not? You know, like post, like after the live stream's over. You know,
Is
we'd
the
really like to know.
swirl distracting?
Are you doing like a? Oh. Okay.
Oh,
wait,
did
Twitch.
someone was supposed to pop over to Twitch and see if we were live there?
If you check the private chat.
Yeah, somebody said it wasn't.
Yeah, I did.
Oh. R.I.P. Interesting.
But
Okay. We will work on that this week.
But I can type in the chat still.
Oh, y'all. Oh, yeah. You come back as you, though, right? Oh,
Anyways.
Okay. Debbie will have a lot to say about this because I know that she digs her some Sithy stuff, and she knows a little more about Bane and Zanna than those things. And I need her to be involved because I don't want her not to be here. All right. Our next segment will be Zane. So, A New Hope is the name of this episode because we feel like we are a new hope for the Sith. We've talked about that a little at the beginning of the show, but it was interesting because Zane, of course, he's my son, but he's also on my same wavelength that I created the show title in this way on purpose because it is a change. It is something I think a little different and new. And just from my searching, I cannot find take off the skirt, take off the shirt. No, Cameron, not taking off the shirt. I don't have a skirt either. But in the end, again, we want this to be a cool community. Are you kidding me? You guys can do that now too? Lovely. All right. Yeah, Debbie, I'm getting you a solo girl at the Sith. You guys email Debbie a solo girl at thesithdominion.com, but don't do that till tomorrow because I haven't created that email yet. But, and I'll ping you in here in Discord. With all the stuff and things about it. Okay, Deb? All right.
Okay.
Here we go, Zane. So Zane comes to me. He's like, my segment. I want to talk about the real acolyte, real all caps acolyte. I don't know what does that mean? What is this about? I get it. Darth Zanna probably was the epitome of what an acolyte should be, and all the things compared to what bullshit we get. PG-13. What bullshit we got in the acolyte? That was not the acolyte that we know to be the acolyte. And even in lore, that's canon. That really isn't an acolyte. Okay, that's your introduction, Zane. So let's talk about Darth Zanna and the acolyte.
All right, folks. Before we get into this, I just want to say, I was, I put down the Holy Star Wars Bible, and I was done. Until I got a call from Dr. Dana, and he was like, "Zane, we need a new hope. We need to bring this back." And I'm like, you know what? He was on the video. He was on his hands and knees begging, and I'm like, I got this. So basically, right, we decided to go with Zanna. Why Zanna? Well, when you think about it, Darth Bane destroyed the Sith. I mean, that whole Sith Empire was gone. It was back and forth, but he closed it off. And it was the start of a whole new era, a whole new era in Star Wars, a whole new era in the Sith Dominion. So these things go really hand in hand. And so we felt it was most appropriate to go with Zanna. So who is she? Right. Well, I figured we would start with the real acolyte, kind of like the show, Let's try to match this kind of to the show, and we'll kind of go through like the entire, beginning portion of Zanna to when she met Bane and all that fun stuff. And I think
we only have like an hour and 30 minutes left. Right?
Yeah, I know. I got this. Okay. Let me cook.
We have other things to talk about.
Let me cook.
Yeah, we want Debbie to talk in the show.
Debbie will talk. So, anyways, we're gonna make this kind of like the show. She's gonna start kind of where her story started, and it's gonna end right after she kind of gets to know her master a little, just like with Kamir and Osha. So this takes place around 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, right? There was this human from a planet called Samavrit, something like that, known as Rain, right? Now, to preface, that is a nickname. That's what the culture did. They had these nicknames. Hers was Rain. She was recruited into the army. Her nickname was Rain.
Rain.
R-A-I-N.
Like Ren. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I got you.
Rain.
She was recruited into the Army of Light along with her cousins during that new Sith Wars, and specifically the Rusan campaign, which was the last big thing at the end of that Sith Wars, right? And so the Army of Light, just to kind of go along, they were this section of the Jedi that were basically the ones fighting the Brotherhood of Darkness, who was the new Sith regime, So regime.
Thank you.
My bad.
No worries.
Whenever they did arrive on Rusan, though, right, they got attacked and ended up, the Jedi thought that they all died. Except for, she didn't die. She actually got saved by this creature called a bouncer. All you need to know about it is it's like the species that lives on there, on that planet. So it didn't have a name. Brain called it Law. Such a crazy name. So essentially what happens around that time is that after she was saved and befriends Law, there's this big force storm that passes over, right? And these are events that are kind of tying into what's happening with Bane with the thought bomb, right? So this force storm goes over them, and she protects Law and herself. And it really, it was the first part where it really showed her force potential. Right? She was able to protect herself and Law from that giant force storm. After that, though, some Jedi scouts who were trying to search for the Jedi, or search for the Sith, remaining, found Law, right, and killed Law, because the species was known to be hostile due to all the stuff that has been happening on the planet. Rain didn't like that. Her best friend and savior just got murdered. So in some random unforeseen events, ended up massacring all of the Jedi scouts that were there. Yeah,
Nice.
really good for her. And it was this moment that attracted Bane to her, right? This huge amount of dark side energy.
Felt her.
Mm-hmm. And during their interaction, Bane's like, "Why aren't you afraid of me? I'm a killer." She says, "I'm a killer now as well." It's really cool. So Bane ends up accepting her as his apprentice.
Hold on, time out. You've
Mhm.
read these books too, right, Debbie?
A long time ago, yes.
A long time ago.
I'm the only one that hasn't read these two.
Really?
So I feel like when we talked about Darth Zanna before, we didn't go into this much detail about her past. We talked about her loyalty, all those things, but which I think you're going to talk about, but maybe. but we didn't talk about the past. So this is really new to me because I don't know this piece. So thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. So after they kind of become master and apprentice-ish, right? It's a little iffy right now. She's following him around. And Bane takes her to a old Sith camp that is abandoned because all the Sith are dead. And there are scavengers hunting around and getting stuff. And before they make it to the camp, Bane's like, "Stay here. Wait for me." Obviously, she doesn't wait for him because she wants to see who is this Bane guy. She's not able to catch up with him. However, when she gets there, she sees all these bodies massacred, except for two little guys running away. Right? She asks Bane, why? If the Sith are about murder and bloodshed, why let these people move and live, right? And it actually says in the book on page, what is this, 23 of the Legends version, obviously. It's towards the end of the page, Bane is quoted as saying, "Prowess in combat is the simplest display of the dark side's power. However, he cautioned her that brutal and quick it serves a purpose, yet it often less effective than subtlety and cunning. Ultimately, letting those mercenaries live may prove more useful than killing them." Right? Really good quote. She still asks a lot of questions. It goes back and forth, and he basically keeps moving to the point that these scavengers are traitors and thieves. Who is going to believe traitors and thieves? And so when you hear these half-truths, these rumors getting out about Sith being there from murders and thieves, they're not going to believe them. And it's going to unsubstantiate these rumors that are coming on. Which
is giving them more freedom to do
exactly. Because, as much as you want to go in hiding, you have to interact with other people.
Okay, thank you. Can we pause? This is business stuff, right? This is leadership stuff. Like, not, kill people and let you live. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you got to have employees.
Damn it.
Right? But this is how you do it to be successful. Like you have to have some sort of I don't want it to sound like you gotta put up this front or whatever of watch out. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is whatever actually happens and whatever is going to happen, that's got to connect in some way. And you got to have people be able to communicate that back and forth. Because if you don't, no one's going to believe the liars and thieves. No one's going to believe the dude at the end of the row that gets the information eighth hand. So, man, this is great. Keep going. No, it's great.
Heck yeah. So after this, Bane finally decides you need to see the battlefield where all of this happened, right? And so she goes there. She's kind of able to gather kind of the feeling of death, as a lot of Force users could. And they go towards these caves. And as they're looking in one of the caves, out of the other cave, who appears but one of her cousins, right? Now,
wait. Were they? Okay.
One of the cousins that apparently survived. Isn't that crazy? Anyways, he saw her and saw her with a Sith and thought that she was being kidnapped. And so he drew a red lightsaber blade, which I'm assuming he found on the ground, right? And went to go attack Bane and free Zanna now. That doesn't go well. Zanna doesn't want him to die. Bane would kill him. So what she does is before he can get to there, Zanna uses the Force to explode his hand that's holding the
I
lightsaber.
want that power.
That is so cool. Right? This already tells you, like, she was not the biggest Force user when she was a kid. In fact, she was like last pick from the Jedi. She
Like
was only
dodgeball,
brought.
like you
She was
win.
only brought with her cousins so that she wouldn't be alone.
Mm.
So this tells you where she was at, and she's just exploding this guy's hand now. And as Bane asked why she didn't kill him, what did she say? Killing him was pointless, just like Bane said to her.
That's
Isn't that
fantastic.
crazy?
He was like, touche.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so on this tail end, right, this is where we're gonna cap it off of the season. So there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of content that even I've skipped over after writing all these notes. But at the very end, now imagine Bane's talking to her, right? They're going towards the ship. He's like, "You got to stay here. Find out how to get there on your own. This is your first test. If you can't even do this, how can you be a successor of the Sith?" Right?
Just like where Kamir says, that's I don't know what you think you're going to do, blah, 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 that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And
the
then-
ship, go take it, but
At the very end, you see her standing like over a cliff or something. You just see Bane's ship going off into the distance. End of season 1.
that should totally be the Acolyte. Absolutely.
It's
Did you
perfect.
watch that, Debbie? Played out on the screen? Compared to what we got as the Acolyte, would you prefer what that Darth Zanna story?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would work. I mean, the problem with the Acolyte is that he's not really the master. He's only an apprentice.
That's true.
That is true.
So wait, who's his master?
Legis.
Are we sure about that? I don't know that was ever.
I think Leslie
it was
confirmed.
Oh, did she confirm that?
I think so. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
You had Chief Palpatine as your apprentice later, I guess. As much as I like Kamir, and I know you shirt off Kamir, whatever. I just don't forget it. No, I'm just kidding. I did not. I didn't think he was that amazing. Like when you look at Anakin, right, and Zanna and these others that have been seduced by the dark side or brought over to the dark side, these are just amazing, crazy people. And the others aren't. Like Kamir was less than exciting and less than, I don't know. I did not feel like I wasn't. The feeling I still get with Darth Vader when he comes on the screen, or even watching episode 3, when he's in the presence and becomes Darth Vader, I didn't get that. And maybe it's just because it's Vader. I didn't get that from the Acolyte. I didn't get that sense of, oh my gosh, this is a big thing, the way I did from episode 3. Maybe I'm just jaded. I don't know. Thank you, Zane. This was deep. And now we were going to do a deep dive on the character analysis of Zanna, but we're not going to do that because it's already 8:52, and we've talked a lot about Zanna. So, I want to talk about this Lando thing again, because I feel like Lando Calrissian was a very beloved hero by everyone loved Lando Calrissian. Debbie, you were there with me in that time. Like, yes, like everyone loved Lando. He was Colt 45, man. Like, this friggin'
He was a smooth operator.
Well, what do we have here? Yes, yes. You truly belong here among the clouds. Of course. Yes. Like, everyone loves Lando. Why aren't you? And Donald Glover, bless your heart. You're amazing. Anyways, like, you did that character. You did that character well. And you did an honor to not Apollo. What's the dude's name? Lando.
Calrissian?
Yes, what's his name? What's the actor's name?
Donald Glover.
Billy D. Williams.
Oh, Billy D. Oh,
Billy D.
sorry.
You know Billy D, but you're our generation's, I guess, Billy, or the next generation's Billy D.
He's crazy.
You're smooth. You're a great actor. I love watching you perform. I'm really actually a little upset about this. I think the way they left his character in Solo, there was like, okay, cool. He's going off to have his adventures. And I was excited to see what they might do with that, and was excited when they said they were doing a show. So I'm going to throw this out there. Is there any hope, really, for the Star Wars franchise as we see it moving? And I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, okay? I'm just, in the last year, is anyone else nervous about the way things are going for this beloved franchise of ours?
If Marvel can pull a 180 with Deadpool, I'd say Marvel, it's Ryan Reynolds, and director. But if they can pull what they did with Deadpool, I think there is hope. Not a lot, but there is hope.
So, Deadpool, though, being the brainchild of Kevin and Ryan, Kevin Feige and Ryan Reynolds, having that combination, what combination are we going to get on the Star Wars side that could be as dynamic? Because we've talked about this a little in the past, and I know you guys talked a little about it on your other show there, Deb, on Cantina. I mean, I'm worried, and I just want y'all's thoughts, like, about the future of our beloved characters, heroes, and even future heroes. I mean, are you guys worried at all?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I take each project that comes out and watch it for what it is. Even if I don't like the project, I usually try to find something within it that I do like. And I guess that's because I'm known as the positive person here.
This is unbelievable if you know Debbie outside of this show. No filter Debbie, we call her. No.
But yeah, I mean, and it's the same with any of the fandoms that I like. I mean, I know Star Wars more than I do Marvel because I've never read the comics, maybe one or two here and there for Marvel. DC, I only know, what I've seen in the movies and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, I always try to find something that I like out of it. Now, there's some Star Wars that, I will refuse to ever watch again. Resistance.
Is there any that you haven't seen at least once? Anything that Disney Plus has put out over the last whatever? Have you not watched something at least once?
Star Wars wise? No, I think I've watched pretty much, well, outside of the droid cartoons, I have not watched those. Just recently, over on Cantina Happy Hour, we watched the Ewok movies. I had never watched them.
There's
and I will never watch them again.
They are something.
That's the only thing I remember. That little blonde, annoying girl, and I remember Star Cruiser Crash. That's all I remember.
Oh, she was adorable, but her brother was a real twitwad.
I don't even remember because I watched that when I was like 7, 8.
Yeah, I mean, there's bits and pieces of that I like, but it's not something I would ever watch again.
Yeah. Zane, anything for you?
I haven't seen a lot. I definitely haven't seen Resistance.
I'm with you.
I think I've watched the least out of all y'all. Technically, I haven't seen Andor because that was during the time of Star Wars, whenever it was iffy. You know, it was around Book of Boba Fett or something like that. I don't know. There's a reason why I didn't watch it, and then I just, you never get around to it.
You have an entire series called Andor that's based off of a character from Rogue One named Andor.
Yeah.
Cassius Andor. And he says one line, and this entire movie is based, or this entire series is based on one line. You just joined the rebellion. I lived it. Like that, I didn't understand at the time. I'm like, okay, so this guy goes back. Whatever. Dude, who wrote that? Why did we get such great writing in Andor? And I'm going to tell you folks that haven't seen Andor, Zane, it's not a shoot 'em up, crazy. It's a good series.
It's more serious.
It is very seriously
political
series. It's very good.
Very spyish. Espionage type. Tony Gilroy, who wrote Rogue One.
Gilroy, that's right.
He's the one who wrote Andor.
And so the feel that you get of this is tension the entire time, because it's like, oh my God, they're talking about this and they don't know that that's happening and this is happening here, and oh my God, they're what about her? Oh, is he it's like that the whole time. Why are they still there? Why can't they just revolt? Oh my God, they revolt. Oh shit, that's why they don't revolt. Like, it's man, I'm telling you, Zane, your assignment this week starts.
I should wait until season 2 starts coming out. That way I can just immediately go into it.
Just crash and go right into it. Man, am I wrong, Debbie? I mean,
some people didn't like it because it is a slow burn. It's 16 episodes, correct?
Something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't mind slow burns.
They're it's not none of this 8-episode bullshit. Yes, I said what I said.
Right.
No,
but it's a slow burn, but boy, does it pay off.
Oh, yeah.
In more ways than one.
And he is such a Diego, whatever. He's such a Diego, whatever. What's his last name? Yeah.
Diego.
De
Luna.
Luna? Anyways.
I don't know. I'm horrible with names.
Cassius Andor. Just great. Oh, and freaking my precious. What's his name? Not Jason Sudeikis. What's the guy? Yes. What's the guy's name? Andy Serkis.
Oh, not you, Andy. I'm sorry. He's like, yeah. Whoa. My son. His name is Andy.
There you go. Andy Serkis. His character, he's not behind a Snoke mask. He's not behind a golem, little tiny balls all over his face. He's not. Whatever. Sorry. He's himself. He's him as an actor, which is great in anything he's in. You've seen him in Marvel. He's been in Marvel too. He's wonderful. And him as this character that is really connecting with Andor is brilliantly written and brilliantly acted. Freaking what's her name, Dr. What or whatever her name is, the Empire chick who we're really not sure where really she lies right now and what she's doing. Just all the things. It's just really good, man. Anyone hasn't seen it, see it. maybe we do a little piece on it. I don't want to be just a Star Wars show because we're a dark side focused show, but sometimes that shit's so good you got to talk about it.
You're not gonna like the other thing I haven't seen then.
Well, hold on a second. So here's the other thing, though, Deb, and I want your opinion on this. So slow burn, good point. It's not a action flick, shoot 'em up, Jason Statham BS, right? It's a thoughtful, well-written show. Ahsoka, the pacing for me was even slower than Andor, but I didn't feel the same way about Andor. Or I didn't feel the same way about Ahsoka as I did Andor. Because I did not feel they did it as well as Andor.
Well, and I go back to the episodes. And I'm trying to think. I don't know if any of the Star Wars series have really been outside of season 1 Mando, but I think that was more than 6 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I think the 6 episode format kind of kills it because you're either in a rush to get to where you're hoping to get by the end of this season. So you can't really do a whole lot of slow burn, but you also got to put in some action in there. Oh, shaking my camera. Sorry. Well, I was shaking my desk. I just really think the 6 or even the 8 episode, it just it doesn't work. You need to have at least 10 or 12 to be able to, because if they're characters that we don't really know, like with the Acolyte, I mean, outside of Plagueis, we didn't really know any of them.
No, they're all, well,
Mundi and
but-
Yoda.
and
Well,
Yoda,
yeah.
and we're just totally being turds.
But I mean, you really
you're
didn't get a chance to connect and get to know the characters, which I think is everybody's big gripe about the show, is that you felt nothing for the characters, well, except for Soul, because I loved him and I love Jackie.
I love Jackie. Oh,
But
jinx.
but yeah, you just don't. There's just not enough time to get to know these brand new characters. And even with Ahsoka, I mean, the pacing was kind of off here and there. I mean, well, of course, the Hayden episodes were chef's kiss. As we all know, I love Hayden. He can do no wrong. I'll fight you for it. Fight me.
He hates me.
But yeah, I think they really need to rethink the 6 or 8 episode format. Go with 10 or 12 or something. Just so, if it is a new characters, give us time to get to know them, to either love them or really hate them or whatever.
Cameron, I'm sorry you're not here because I know you would jump in here. House of the Dragon, 10 episodes. Same cost, but
8 episodes.
8 episodes for House of the Dragon? Are you sure?
Yeah, we just had the finale.
That's 8?
Mhm.
Okay. 8 episodes, but the writing was so good. In season 1, as they went through, was there any sort of... Did you feel that you were lacking in attaching to Rhaenyra, young or old? Did you feel like you were lacking attaching to Daemon? Did you feel like you were lacking attaching to... Like, this is, I think, Cameron's real huge point, and what you may be alluding to as well, is that it's okay if you have an 8 or 10 episodes if the writing's there to back it up. Did you feel in season 1 of House of the Dragon that you were able to make connections to those characters, 1, and 2, if so, why couldn't you with Ahsoka in the same amount of time?
Who's that for?
You.
Oh, gosh, I get to talk some more.
I know. I'm like, shut up, Zane. Just sit over there. Curmudgeon Cam went on for longer than I anticipated. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, season 1 of House of the Dragons was 10 episodes. This
Maybe that's what I'm
season was only 8 episodes. I mean, I really liked the finale, but it didn't give me that payoff.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people, especially if you're on TikTok, were not really too thrilled with that finale. I mean, yeah,
It was
we
good.
got some good shit, during the season. But yeah, I mean, people were saying, the season finale was more or less a 70-minute trailer for season 3, which we won't get to see for 2 years.
Yeah, it takes too damn long.
But to answer your question, yeah. And I've never read the books, so I didn't know diddly squat about these characters outside of if they were ever mentioned in Game of Thrones, because I've watched that. But yeah, I mean, you really got a chance to get to know them, either love them or hate them. Team Black, Team Green.
Within an episode or 2.5. Like, it wasn't like it took forever for you to even.
Mm-mm.
So Ray Stevens, not Soul, for Pete's sake, Balin Skull. And going back to Ahsoka, I made a huge connection with that guy, but it wasn't until like episode 3 or 4. And you could have had so many more of us people if you just, an extra 5 minutes on this guy per episode in 1 and 2, right? Like, just give me a little more. And I know that they can't anticipate that. I've tried writing a show, like a play. It's hard. Like, I get that. And I don't really get it, even though I say I get it because that's not my profession, right? But man, you do this for a living. You think you'd be a little better at it. Sorry. It's just fucked up, man. Like, seriously. It's kind of like when I lost my shit about Han. Like, it's just lazy ass writing. You kill him off so you don't have to figure out what to do with him. So Balin, you had a great opportunity there, and then unfortunately he passed away. Well, now I don't even really give a shit about Ahsoka. Don't let Charlotte know. I don't care about Ahsoka now because it's like the dude I wanted to see is gone. Like, he's passed away in real life. We'll never get more of him.
Recast.
Yeah, it depends on who they get to play him.
Russell Crowe.
Love Schreiber.
Oh, I actually was like excited about Russell Crowe, but then you said that. Now I'm like saber-toothed. Yeah, 100%.
And another difference is between House of the Dragons and the majority of the Star Wars series is that each episode is over an hour long. An hour to an hour long, an hour and 10 minutes, an hour or 70 minutes or 80 minutes, whatever.
No commercials. I mean, it's just
right. No commercials. So you get, even though it is only 8 episodes, you get that extra time with the characters.
Yeah.
Where with Star Wars, I mean, one episode's 20 minutes. One episode might be 40 minutes. One episode might be 30. Quit it. Cut it out.
There is a formula, and I'm okay with some of the formulaic stuff, like make it a 45-minute episode, right? I'm good with that. Make it 45 minutes, move on. But whenever you're lacking content, I think you have to kind of cut corners, and I think that's what they did. Mando did that too, though. There was not a single episode that was the same runtime.
And everybody hates it. It's like, this is something major that everybody has complained about is the inconsistency. Same with the Marvel TV series. One time it's 30 minutes. One time it's 40. Sometimes it's 20 or 15. Jesus Christ. And it's just like, it doesn't work. And of course they're, well, if it's written well, you don't need an hour. Well, hello. Some of it's not written well. Okay, my bitch rant's over.
We were talking about
the Debbie discussion.
The Debbie positivity, but now she's Debbie Downer. Come on.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just kidding. No, I love it when you're unfiltered.
Getting in the Debbie details.
That was my segment. Thank you.
Debbie details. The Debbie is in the details.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie Downer. That's me.
No. That's camp. No. No, thank you for that. I agree. I think when we look at what we've been getting, and we talked about this on the GNN side, we're gonna watch it because we're Star Wars fans and they're banking on that. The problem is the rewatchability. The rewatchability of episode 4, 5, and 6 of the Star Wars trilogy is rewatchable indefinitely. The episode 1, 2, and 3 have varying rewatchabilities in my opinion. 2 is not so great. But 3 I will watch until I die. I appreciate that. See, 2 was more of the love, right? And I do like some of that. It could have been written better. Sorry, George.
That I agree with.
Really missed out on, because look, Anakin's fall. Here we go into the Sith side. This is what we do. Anakin's fall was his connection. His fall was his, I will do anything for this woman. And while we as men, and whatever, I don't care whatever people think. This is just me. Me as a man, like, I will fall on the sword, take a bullet, whatever, for my wife, not just because that's what the world says I should do in the patriarchy, whatever, F that. It's because I care, and I think my wife is the most important person on this planet next to my children. So I'm going to take a bullet for her. And I don't see that same sort of translation into what we've been getting. When you see Anakin, you see that in episode 3, his anger and choking her is a jealousy, it's a rage, it's a I'm possessive, it's past the point, it's obsession, it's not compassion. And so that is the dark side, right? That's the piece that took over him, that changed him, and how he viewed the love, quote unquote, now of his life. So much that he was willing to choke her and cause her pain because he was feeling pain. No, you don't. And that's where that sort of, and maybe it's just the nature of the story at that point of the story. But when I watch episode 2, I didn't feel that Hayden as Anakin was as attached to Padme, or, oh my God, what's her name?
Natalie
Portman. Thank you. As you see in episode 3, and maybe it's the maturity of the actor and actress or whatever, or maybe it's the writing.
Better writing.
Wasn't as good. And I think I've explained that in a way that you understand where I'm coming from, Debbie. Obi-Wan would be so mad at me if he saw me doing this. Shut up, you Gen Z fucktard.
Hey.
Sorry. Come on. I'm not the judge.
That's a millennial thing. That's a millennial thing. 2000s?
Yeah, okay, that's a millennial.
Thank you.
But it bleeds into Gen Z.
Whose fault was that?
Anyways, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the way they made him in episode 2 is not the way they made him in episode 3. And so that inconsistency and non-congruity in the character disassociated me, Debbie, with that character once I saw everything in episode 2. Episode 2 can go F itself. I'm not a huge fan. I was looking forward. Look, if anyone knows Dana, not Dr. Dana in the Superman, Dana, he's a Field of Dreams crying guy. Like, I'm that guy at movies. So I was looking forward to the love story that caused Darth Vader to fall. Like, that's what I was looking for, coming from where I was in my childhood up to where, like, all my lore and all the things, right? I was looking forward to this story. And it just fell short, in my opinion, in episode 2. So, Debbie, I wasn't trying to say it was a terrible. It's just I don't think it was done as good as it should have been done. And given the sorry, George, but it just wasn't as good as what I thought it could have been. I'll shut up and let you guys tell me, but am I wrong?
No, I think, oh man, I can't remember if I read it or if I've seen a video about the sand dialogue. And somebody, like I said, I don't know if I watched it or read it, but there was different dialogue. And it sounded so good. I don't know why George decided to go with the sand dialogue. I think it was the sand dialogue. Either that or it was the dinner dialogue where, she's dressed as a dominatrix.
I mean, you usually got to pay for that, but, I own the movie, so I get it whenever I want.
But it was some kind of dialogue between him and Padme that didn't come off as well in the movie as what was originally written as the dialogue. I mean, George is the maker. I'm sure he had his reasons for using his own dialogue. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, it just could have been so much better and probably would have made, even though Revenge of the Sith it still makes me cry towards the end. But if Attack of the Clones had been written better and really brought out that love story, I think it would have made it even sadder.
Yeah, agreed. When they missed it. I think there was just so much he was trying to cram into that movie because that was a huge jump. I mean, that was from Anakin coming in, everything's great and happy and wonderful to, oh shit, what's going on? And I think there was just too much material for him to try to cover in that one episode. Now, hearing from George's mouth, you can Google this or just trust me. I don't give a crap. Where he said, no, episode 2, the focus is the love story between Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. So when I hear George say that, I think, okay, I'm going to look at it through that lens. And when I do, it still falls a little short. And I think that's where my disappointment is. I'm begging for that, love story. I'm begging for the Who's Got Mail. I'm begging for some romantic, really deep connection, which we do get in episode 3. You see that when he's out on the balcony and he can't sleep, and or he's having that. Like, I'm looking at you, and I just, even though, I'm going to get emotional, even though my whole world inside of me is falling apart, I look at you and I'm centered. That beauty, it's on the eye of the, oh, sure. Like that, it's funny. It's ridiculous, but it's funny. And any man, okay, I don't care. Any man who has ever felt this way about a woman can relate to this. And any woman that has had a man look at her in that way can relate to this. Where was that in episode 2? That's the scene, right? Where I wish that we could have seen more of in episode 2 that we just couldn't get. And was it that the actors had not spent enough time together, until episode 3 that they could interact that way and be that connected? I don't know.
I don't think it's that, because I've seen him talk about Natalie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. In press. interviews for Attack of the Clones. If you watch him talk about Natalie,
does he do that kind of grin, smile? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does. The one that just kind of make your heart melt. Now I don't know if George. I still think it could have been written better, but I don't know if George was looking at it as, okay, he's never had a girlfriend, really had outside of his mother, really hasn't been around girls. Maybe there was some there on Tatooine, but he was too young to probably be,
sure.
Really interested.
They weren't taking to the cantina to watch the Twilight Girls. No.
Right. So, maybe George was coming from a place of, okay, he hasn't been around girls that much. He's in the Jedi, no attachment. And, he's just awkward. Okay. He doesn't know how to talk to a woman because, there are men like that. And maybe that's where he was coming from. But I still think even coming from that angle, it still could have been written better.
You're right. And I see that. I think that's a great point because at the table when he's using his force powers to move the shit and feed her, it was kind of ridiculous, but it makes sense because if he didn't know how to impress a woman, like he would use what he thought would impress a woman to impress a woman. And she was a little impressed. Like, look at this guy. He can probably do things that I've okay, but what is that? Leave that for an after hours episode. But honestly, that connection and connection and relationship could have been brought. If it was better done in episode 2, it would have made episode 3 that much more impactful. Because it was already my biggest emotion. I'll just throw it out there. Is the whole "you were my brother," Anakin. Mm-hmm. Like that moment of "I hate you," like that kills me. It stabs me in my heart because you're saying that because that's what you think you feel, but that hatred is really for yourself for being a failure, a fucking failure. You failed and you are pissed at yourself, but you're going to take it out on Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the way I feel about that moment. He knew better than to attack Obi-Wan in that way. He was overconfident and cocky, and he was pissed at himself for losing his own legs. Because what was Obi-Wan supposed to do? Let him kill him? No. He's going to defend himself. But again, according to the Acolyte, a Jedi does not draw his saber unless he intends to kill. And where did that come from in lore? Anyone, lore master? Exactly. Sorry. I didn't mean to derail that piece, but no, I'm with you, Deb. I wish that they would have fleshed that out a little more. I think we could have had an even more impactful moment when he was choking Padme. Would have hurt us even more to feel his pain. Damn, that's rough.
I mean, we got more of a relationship between him and Obi-Wan than we did between him and Padme. I mean, granted, yeah, he's a guy, so he knows, they do guy things.
Guys do guy things.
And they spend a lot more time together than what, of course, Padme and Anakin, sorry.
He was in Bush, so he's not just Anakin.
My boy Hayden. They have to keep their relationship so secret, God, that they really can't spend a whole lot of time together. I mean, because even in the Clone Wars series, they spend some time together, but most of the time it's him and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought he was with Obi-Wan even after his apprenticeship was over and he was a full-fledged Jedi. He was still with Obi-Wan a lot. And I'm thinking a little bit like Mace and company were like, we got to keep an eye on this guy. That's going to be a good maybe segue to our next show. Maybe we talk a little bit about that.
About Mace.
Not Mace? You don't like Mace. Well, the fact that you don't like Mace is going to be fantastic for next week.
It's perfect.
I love Sam. Let's get that straight. I love Sam. I just really don't like Mace.
I'm just going to say, like, he's a total douchebag.
Yes.
We got a couple minutes here, and we're going to need to bail. But I don't want these shows to go 2 hours plus, especially if Debbie's, like, on the other side of the country. So it's already 10 plus for her, and it's 9 plus for us. Zane, I think you got to pop off here soon. So we'll go ahead and shut down the show. But, oh, my God, what an amazing first show. Debbie didn't say shit for an hour, and then all of a sudden it's all Debbie for the last 35
I'm clipping it.
So it's
and then I took over.
Cam, thanks. I'm sorry you had to bail. You had to go do your thing with some softball. Zane, you're going to need to bail. And there's going to be some in and out over the next couple of weeks as we're coming up. But I didn't want to stop the show. I wanted us to keep trudging forward and figuring this out. So thank you, few people that joined for the live on our new channel. Thank you so much. Those of you that joined on TikTok, thank you as well. We're going to be in the Discord as well. Starting next week, we'll be in Discord at the end of the show so that you can join and chat with us. Man, I don't know what else to say other than thank you all. This has been a really cool opportunity. That GNN, thank you for giving me a platform for a while, for a year, a solid year, like you trusted me with your name. And thank you so much. I don't know if anything actually been started. Okay. Anyways, we will continue with our partnership with GNN, though. Kat is helping us out. Debbie, who is still part of GNN, help us out and on the show. So we'll get all of our content moved over and those sorts of things over the next week or so. Also, we will have a merch store here in the next week or two as well. If you want to check out that cool ass top right logo, the Sith Dominion. I know that Cam, his wife, is an artist as well on her side gig or whatnot. So she's working on some logos for us. That's cool too. And if you're in the College Station area, Texas A&M area, or in the surrounding Houston, the Tri-Cities, Houston, Waco, Austin area, which is this kind of all within an hour and a half of our beautiful conglomerate of Texas A&M. Come see us on September 14th and 15th. We will be at the College Station Comic-Con walking around. We'll have a bunch of like stickers and whatnot, maybe a couple T-shirts to give away. Come find us if you're in those areas and you want to head over to the Comic-Con. I don't know the full list of people, but Kari Walgren was at the last one last year, and I know you guys know this if you watch the show because all I talk about was her after that. I know for sure Jason, what's his butt from Power Rangers, Red Ranger, he'll be there. The second Red Ranger, not the first Red Ranger.
Yeah.
And then
James,
no,
he plays Bowser. He plays Bowser.
Oh, you're looking it up. Yeah, there's a few really cool people. We had also Cowardly Dog, Courage was there as well. Yeah. Come check us out. Debbie, thank you so much for all your help on the back end, especially, but in the show. Sorry, Cam took over and you couldn't talk. You can't talk. Just tell him to shut up.
Shut up, Cam.
It was his segment. I wasn't going to say
anything. He was going nuts, man. He had a lot to say, too, and I wasn't.
Plus, I know shit about gaming outside of Nintendo 64 and Star Wars Galaxies. That's all the gaming I know.
Hold on a second. We've talked about Galaxies. You played Galaxies? Like a lot?
You might need a Galaxy show.
We have a Galaxy. I was on a Galaxy EMU server for a while, even. I totally freaking do that shit again. It was so fun. And it's pre-NGE. Yeah, how long did you play it?
Oh, man.
Years or months?
Years.
Okay, so
from the beginning.
So when they changed it to be more like WoW and everyone could be a Jedi and all those things, and that was dumb. So the server that I'm on is the pre-NGE server, and I haven't been back there in about a year. but I'd love to go back. We should probably do that in Discord. We'll talk that up, see if folks want to go play some Galaxies on the side. Debbie, I loved that game. I played that game until they shut it down. I was on the server when it shut down. Like, I was all in on that game. Man, and we had a whole group. There was like 100 of us sitting there when it shut down, and we just see people coming. It was so sad. And I think there was another game that just closed out here in the last few months that happened as well, where everyone was kind of sitting there watching it, and just stuff started falling off. And that sucks for people who really invest in those worlds. Oh, it was the Halo. They stopped supporting or serving multiplayer on Halo
Reach
and 3.
It was basically
Halo
Xbox 360 live services.
Everything was end of life
Everything
on
live.
360. Everything that was released on 360 that was Halo was end of life.
Mhm.
That's what that was. And so I watched this TikTok video of this dude like just sitting there. He's like, "Why did I keep coming back?" Because it was all I knew. Like, it was something that was real and true, and all these. And it was just heartfelt from someone that grew up in that. Like, I'm in my 20s, and this game comes out. And it's amazing. Halo was one of the most incredible pieces of art. Yes, I said it, a fucking art that I'd ever been privy to. When you look at just the campaign stories from Halo 1 all the way to the end of Master Chief's story so far. I say so far because they can
start a whole new
figure out a way
podcast.
to bring them back.
We could start a whole new podcast.
And the Halo show, not so great. This isn't
R.I.P.
about that, but I still watched it because I was a fan. I did the whole Halo 3 release chasing ilovebees.com. If you don't know about all that, just Google I Love Bees, and you'll see what I had to go through back in 1990, whatever, to figure all this shit out and try to be a part of this incredible community. And that's what this is, the Sith Dominion. Piece of incredible community of Star Wars fans, and hopefully Star Wars fans that lean a little dark side. Janae, you're not watching right now, but that's okay. I know you watch our show. You are a dark side person. You need to go all in. Stop with the Sailor Moon bullshit. Go dark side, 100%. I'm just kidding. Good for you with your cosplay. That was awesome. Man, anything? What happened to Zane?
Sorry, my friend just called me. And
Yeah,
sent me
it's
a picture
time
of
for
us
you to
on the
go. You're
street.
5 minutes late.
Yeah, can we
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. Debbie, any parting shots?
I gotta mod someone else's
All right.
live stream.
You got anything
Cantina happy hour on Thursdays.
Tina Happy Hour on CNN on Thursday. Go check it out. Go watch it,
Mhm.
please.
Check out Thomas Babiak on TikTok right now. I'm about
Thomas
to go over there
Babiak
and mod
on TikTok right now.
right now.
And I'm Dr. Dana Martin, your host of the Sith Dominion podcast. And remember, kids, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Good night.